Hey, welcome into Hold My Banner. If you love this show, make sure you check out Foxborough Rush, available on NESN as well. George Malecki and I get you ready for the NFL Draft. Just weeks away. Can you believe it? Check out Foxborough Rush. It's available on Spotify, Apple, Amazon, and wherever else podcasts are found. All right, here we go. Let's hold my banner. Just hold it. Travis Thomas here with the walking, talking, triple-double, Ountae Campbell.
What's up, two T's? How you doing, bro?
It's a nice little intro right there. You got to admit.
Yeah, it was. You know, how you doing, bro?
I'm doing good. I'm not going to lie. I was stressed out.
Oh.
We had Juju Watkins and Jason Tatum get hurt on the same damn night, Tay. I was in like a glass case of emotion. I couldn't handle either one of them. Now, one of them was, thank God, more minor than we thought. Yeah. The other one was indeed devastating. We'll talk about both in this episode, Tay.
We definitely will, but you know we got to talk about another superstar that we just had with us recently, dog.
Bro.
Yeah, we show off that photo of who we got today, man.
Bro.
Look at this guy right here, AJ Dybantsa.
Yo,
the number one high school prospect in the country right now. And probably the projected number one pick for 2026, Travis Thomas, bro.
Man.
How special was that interview?
I'm not going to lie. I mean, if you look up the word aura in Webster's dictionary, It is a picture of AJ Dybantsa. He is that real. He is confident, laid back, cool breeze, and can hoop. And he's 18 years old. It's just unbelievable to me, the poise. I talk to you about this a lot of times off camera, so I don't mind saying it on camera.
Yeah.
But I talk to you about you being the age you are and how poised you are. Mm-hmm. And I think about, man, when I was Ountae's age, I was wilding out. but Ountae has that poise about him. And I think a lot of the reason why is because of sports.
Yeah.
This kid is 18, and he has that poise about him. He does not feel like a teenager at all. Like the way he carries himself, the way he talks, it's unbelievable to me how poised and mature he is for his age. And Tay, his game is ridiculous, brother.
Yeah, it is. I'm ready for everyone to hear about him. Tell them about this kid, dog.
Well, listen, I mean, Ountae already told you. He's the number one recruit in the country. He's from here locally. He's from Brockton. He's taken his talents to BYU. Honestly, he talked to us about all the above. So here's part one of our two-part interview with AJ Dybantsa. Take a look. Joined now with AJ Dybantsa, number one recruit in the country. He's headed to BYU, and he's from Brockton, Mass. They call that the city of champions. Every time I do that, I got to throw up the 1-2. AJ, welcome to the program, man.
Appreciate you having me.
So let's start there. I always like to start in the beginning anyway. You would eventually move around, but you grew up in Brockton.
Yeah.
Talk about growing up there. Talk about hooping there. Talk about the area, man. I know you got a lot of love for it.
Yeah, for sure, the City of Champions. You know who we got out there, Marvin Hagler, Rocky Marciano. But, I mean, it's the reason why I am who I am. I mean, Brockton, I'm not going to sit here and be like, yo, it's the biggest and the baddest. But I know East Coast guys, like Brockton, Massachusetts, Boston area, like, it can grow up like gritty. So, I mean, I think that's the way I play, and, it raised me like that.
Bro, I was going to actually ask you that because I know Brockton is always Rocky Marciano, Hagler. It's got that reputation. And so I was going to ask you if growing up there translated to your game. And you said that. So you grew up playing physical anyway.
Yeah. I mean, guys tend to be like, a lot of let's say like I'm skinny on the basketball court. So a lot of guys like want to be physical with like skinny type of guys. But I mean, I embrace it because growing up here in Boston area, they don't call a lot of fouls out here. So,
right.
We grew up playing rough and tough.
Yeah.
You got that dog, Tay. That's what you call that dog.
Man, and, I remember when I was playing, I loved, beating up on dudes and playing rough and tough as well. What did you like the most about playing here in Massachusetts?
Great question.
Yeah, that's a great question. No, I just think that, just playing with everybody you grew up playing with, and then you just seeing them elevate and seeing them evolve. Like, a lot of guys that I've been playing with since a young age have committed to big-time schools as well.
Yeah.
Bro, we were talking before the interview started about all the traveling you've been doing. Yeah. Eventually, you would move away. You would go to Cali. But take me back, before we ask you about hooping in Cali and Utah, take me back to when you left. What did it feel like? Because obviously growing up here, hooping here, and now you're moving on to bigger and better things. But what did it feel like for you in the moment when it was time to pick up and leave?
I just thought it was the best decision. I mean, basketball it was invented here in Massachusetts, but it's not known to be like a basketball state. So let's just say it doesn't have the best competition basketball-wise if you want to, take that next level. So I decided to go to California and play a national schedule because I was at St. Sebastian's. I'm not going to say it wasn't good because I was playing NEPSAC, but it wasn't a national schedule. So I decided to go nationally and showcase my talents on national schedule.
Yeah, you went to my state where I'm from, California, and I say it's the best hoop state, but I'm a little biased. What was that like? You basically went there and put up video game numbers immediately. Yeah. What was it like playing at that school in Napa?
Now it was crazy because some practices would be more competitive because we had the number one sophomore at the time, Tyron Stokes. We had 3 McDonald's All-Americans. We had Michigan commit winners Grady. We had St. Mary's that just played yesterday, Mikey Lewis. So, we had guys. Like, practice would be super competitive. We'll all be on different teams at different times. And then when we got on the court, it was just a show because it was like 7 5-stars, all-star teams.
Yeah.
I'm going to ask about Tyron Stokes. But before we get there, he just glossed over it. Okay, AJ, let me take you behind the scenes to what we do here. Because he's being cool right now because you here. So we argue all the time. Now, I'm not a hooper like y'all. But I grew up in the DMV area, and you know what it is there. Your favorite player is Kevin Durant. Yeah. You know what it is. He grew up in Inglewood, so you heard him. L.A., best hoopers. You already know. Now, you're from here. There's a lot of lottery picks from Mass, bro. We got to be honest. So let's break this down right now. DMV, Cali, or New England, who got the best hoopers and why?
I'm going to say East Coast got better hoopers than the West Coast.
Let's go. Let's go.
Because, if you go based off of, talent, I think the most talented guys out of the 3, I think came from the DMV. But one of my favorite players, Paul George.
PG.
Facts.
One of my favorite 2-way players, Kawhi Leonard.
Kawhi.
Facts.
Russ.
So,
Harden.
Don't change your vote.
Clay. Come on, dog.
I'm giving you your props, but I'm from the East Coast, so I got to say East Coast.
Let's go.
Let's go. A lot of people say that Cali don't got hoopers. Nah, Cali got hoopers for surely.
Yeah. Go ahead and ask him about Tyron Stokes because I needed a breather after that. He did me dirty. Ask him about Tyron Stokes.
Tyron Stokes, you mentioned you got a chance to play with him once you went out to Cali. Man, he's up next. Yeah. His game looks nice. What was that whole experience like playing with him?
Yeah, so I played with him USA 16U first. And, he was just on my body talking about, bro, you got to come to Pillow. You got to come. He was like, yo, we can both be number one, just start the world. I was like, all right, man. So we did it. We made history, actually. I was the first 2 number ones to team up for 16U school, and then we played Oakland Soldiers together.
Right.
And kids just loving us. It was just movies.
Bro, you know what I already like about you that I've noticed? A lot of guys are kind of standoffish in your position, right? Like, I'm the top dog, whatever. You're more communal. Like, I can already see you're like, yo, all right, you're ranked number 2 or you're ranked number 1 in this class or whatever. Let's play together.
Yeah.
What does that say about you? It just seems like you don't have even your aura. Like, I just met you here today, but you're very speaking to everyone. I can tell you're probably a really good teammate. It's not about you. Am I reading that right?
Yeah, we let everybody eat.
Yeah, you definitely let everybody eat. I remember watching you representing Boston for Expressions Elite in the Peach Jam. You went crazy, bro, crazy in that tournament. Can you just tell us about playing in the Peach Jam and that journey?
Yeah, so the crazy part is I reclassed. So I did 8th grade twice.
Yeah.
Okay.
So then my second 8th grade I played for 15U.
Yeah.
So we made it to Peach Jam. We played guys we played Cooper Fly that year. Mm-hmm. And I don't even know if I told this story. Me and Coop was supposed to be on Expressions.
Yeah.
Until they put him on Maine United. Coop used to play for Expressions in 8th grade.
Yeah.
9th grade came and they said that now states, you have to, where you live has to touch
the
state.
Right.
So then Maine United came around. But competition.
Yeah.
So we played him, played Jameer Jones, we played a whole bunch of guys. So I was playing 15U, so I was one of the younger guys on the team. But we didn't win the whole thing. We lost to Cam Boozer and them.
Yeah.
And then I became a freshman. My coach was like, you're playing 17. I'm not putting you back on. So I'm playing with the seniors. So I'm 15 playing against Elliot Cadeau, Todd Pettiford, Dylan Harper. Those guys averaged, 26 The Peach Jam. Like, I went stupid. So.
You went crazy, bro.
But that wasn't really like a good example of letting everybody eat.
Sometimes you gotta eat first, dog. Sometimes you gotta eat first. You know what I'm saying?
But it was appropriate, right?
Yeah.
Like it's like, okay, I'm here to showcase it. Then let me showcase it. And I imagine that's a mentality. At that time, is that what you were thinking? Were you looking around and thinking, that's that guy, I have to show I belong?
Yeah, it was one of those things like, I low-key doubted myself at first because I was like, I'm 15. These are guys like hella followers on the gram you look up to.
Right.
And like, can I really play with them? My first game had 22 and 10.
Yeah.
So I'm like, all right, but I can hang. So I'm 15. I'm ranked number 1 in my class, but I'm like, I got to prove that I can, be regarded as regardless of class.
Yeah.
So it was kind of a chill on my shoulder. Then, that 26 was kind of like an easy 26 because I was just flowing.
I want to come back and talk about your senior year, but I just wonder, like hearing you talk, being young, playing against all these top dogs, and then you establishing yourself, what age did you realize where you were like, yo, I'm nice, and I can be special in this game? What was a moment, and what age were you when you realized it?
I realized I had a chance when I reclassed. That's why I did it, because I was like, if I could have a chance, I might as well reclass, do 8th grade twice, give me an extra year. I didn't realize I was like nice until like, I'll say like freshman, sophomore year. But I played varsity as an 8th grader.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, I score a little bit, but then like 9th grade, it was like a whole jump. I grew to like 6. I was like 6'6", 6'7", and it was just like, it
was over.
It all kind of came together at the same time. So eventually you have your senior year in Utah. So you go from Cali to Utah. Talk to me about that experience. And you reunited with a teammate in J.J. Maniquet, right?
So another USA teammate.
Okay.
So he was the one that recruited me to Utah Prep. It was a culture shock because obviously I'm from Brockton. Let's just say more city-like.
Yeah.
Went to Cali. I went to Napa, California, not L.A.
So that's like wine country.
Wineries.
Yeah.
And I went to Hurricane, Utah, which is like just nobody's out there. So it was distraction-free. So it was just, I'm working on my game. I'm playing with these type of guys. JJ, we just recruited Xavier Stain to go there. And then, it was just a great season overall. I mean, we just lost in the Final Four, but I mean, with everything that happened that season, not a lot of people thought we would even be in the Final Four. So it was just great that we even got there. So.
Now, I know from hanging with one hooper, he always talks about his senior year, right, of high school. So did you take a moment to at least, like, enjoy the fact that it was going to be your last time playing high school basketball?
Yeah. I mean, we went to China last year.
What?
Hawaii.
Yeah.
So, I mean, we went to some places, so we got to enjoy, like, we're seniors. Like, but, I mean, it was all business at the end of the day.
Yeah, that must have been a movie for JJ, right? Because isn't he from Hawaii?
Yeah, he's from Hawaii.
Yeah,
So it's live.
So that must have been
We had,
a
like,
movie.
4 Hawaiians on that team, so they got to go back home. We ate their food, so it was live. Yeah.
That's dope.
Yeah. And then, obviously, you ended up choosing BYU. Can you just tell us ultimately why you chose that school?
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people had their doubts, but on my visit, Kevin Young came from the NBA.
Yeah.
They have, we call him Wiz. That's our strength coach because he's a wizard. He's the reason why Giannis is the way he is. Let's just say that.
Hey.
Their dietitian from the Phoenix Suns, Daniela. It's just an NBA. It's all NBA staff. So if my goal is to go to the NBA, I think they have the staff to get me to the NBA if it's all NBA personnel already.
Hold up, bro. Let's talk about that weight room now, because you have put some size on. I mean, you in that weight room?
Yeah.
Talk to us. Don't be humble now, AJ. Tell us what's going on in that weight room.
He
trying to be humble. He trying to be humble. You yoked under that jacket. What's going on right now?
That's high school, so I mean, you can't really like. Physicality is going to be physicality. It's wide ranges, but I mean, in college, it's really going to tell because everybody's bigger and stronger. So if you can really hold your own in college, then it's proven that weight room's working. Right now, I mean, athleticism can really get you anywhere, but in college, it all evens out.
Well, let's talk about college because, like we said, BYU, it's on now. You became the highest-ranked recruit to ever commit to BYU. In that way, do you feel like you changed the game?
At BYU?
Yeah. Like becoming the highest ranked recruit to choose there, that's a big deal, bro.
Yeah,
that's making history.
It's a big deal, but I mean, I see the way they interact with the players now that weren't even ranked this high. So I mean, I think it don't matter if you're ranked 1 or if you're ranked 100, they're still going to show you the same love.
That's cool.
And if you commit to BYU, it's just like a family.
Yeah. And look, BYU, we talking about you next year, but this year, they're making some magic happen. They in the Sweet 16. They got Alabama coming up. What do you think of their chances in that game and going on?
I mean, of course, I'm a root for BYU.
Yeah.
If I had to bet, I don't bet money because I don't like losing money. But
You like me, dog.
Not like me.
Not like this dude. But you like me, yeah. Like keeping that money in your pocket, of course.
Well, I know you're going to ask about Duke, but as far as a Bama game, whoever plays defense in that game is going to win.
Yeah,
I love BYU, bro. I have them. I told you before we started recording, I had them in my Final Four, and I still feel that way. But somebody's got to play defense in that game because Bama nor BYU plays it right now. It's an offensive team.
Yeah. They're both in my top 4, so I mean, I want to visit to both. They play similar styles.
Yeah, they do. They do. They score that basketball.
Yeah,
and I know you do too, so you're going to help out with that. But other than scoring that basketball, what can you bring to this BYU team that they don't have right now or just add into addition to what they do have?
Yeah, it's more so adding defense. I think I'm a two-way player. I just won Defensive Player of the Year for the Grantchester, which is the league we play in.
Yep.
So I just try to be an impact two-way. Like I said, I like Kawhi Leonard. I like Paul George. I watch those type of guys to make an impact on the defensive floor.
Yeah.
All right, now, BYU handles their business against Bama. You know who's up next.
Yeah.
I mean, if Duke can handle their business and get there, BYU and Duke, you talked about Cooper Flagg. How would you see that game playing out this season, BYU against Duke?
Yeah, I mean, Duke's who they are for a reason. They got them guys. But, I mean, we're going to come with the chip on our shoulder.
Yeah.
Duke don't really underestimate guys. They don't really underestimate other teams, so they go play hard. And we go play hard. The better team come on top.
Yeah, look, all right, I got to ask you about just winning the gold medal because we kind of glossed over that. Like, you played USA, but you won a gold medal. Describe what it felt like to represent your country because we talked about you representing Massachusetts, which you do at a great level.
Yeah, he does.
What does it feel like representing your country in that way and being able to bring back the gold?
Yeah, so the first time, I mean, none of us made the team before, so we were all nervous. Like, Koa Pete was the only one that made the team. He won last year.
Yeah.
He had 3-time champ in high school, which is crazy. But so we were all nervous about making that team, and then when we made the team, it was like a roll. Like, we broke so many records. Like, we beat the team by like 82.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, so like we beat like the 16U scoring record. Like, it was crazy.
Yeah.
It was a super team.
Yeah, it was a super team. And look, also I want to ask you about this really quickly. You're rocking that Red Bull.
I see that hat.
You got the Red Bull in front of you,
the drink!
You know, the NIL, bro. Tell us about Red Bull, bro, and that relationship.
Yeah, I mean, it was a family.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't look for too many deals. I only got Nike and Red Bull right now.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't just want to get deals and deals and deals just to collect money. I'm trying to build, like, I'm a family guy. Like, I have 2 sisters, 2 parents in the household, so I mean, all about family for me.
Yeah, man. You got the family on because you rocking the Nikes, you got the Vomeros. I love the Vomeros, so 100%.
No doubt. All right, now let me ask you this. We've seen scouting reports on you, but I want it from the horse's mouth. How would you sort of scout yourself as a player? Describe yourself as a player.
Yeah, all-around player, 3-level scorer. I think I'm a playmaker, though.
Okay.
Like I said, I like when everybody eats. I think the game's more fun when everybody's eating. So I try to get everybody involved, but when scoring is needed, I think I can produce.
Where did that come from about you, bro? Like, everybody eats mentality, because I imagine as gifted as you are, you've always been the man on a team.
No, I haven't.
Really?
Yeah,
so that's where it came from.
I mean, I was always tall when I was younger, so I used to be like a big.
Yeah.
And then like in 4th or 5th grade, one of the coaches, Marvin, was like, "Yo, like you could be a guard." So then like I used to like just watch basketball. And I was a natural like passer, like even before like I always had IQ, so I used to pass and one-hand passes.
Yeah.
And I was like tall.
Yeah.
And then I had to learn how to score, but I kept the playmaking with it. So I mean, it was just like the best of both worlds.
Okay.
Yeah, I was never always the man until like 9th grade.
Right.
Yeah.
But then that mentality was already built to dish and
Exactly.
share it.
Yeah.
I like that.
And Travis is asking about your scouting report, and obviously we paying attention. I see some scouts, they saying you're not number one. They saying Darren Peterson is better.
Yeah.
Does that competition fuel you, and what makes Darren Peterson so special?
Yeah, I mean, that's what basketball's about. You want competition.
Yeah.
I mean, I've been ranked number 1 for so long that, I mean, obviously I have a chip on my shoulder.
Yeah.
And a target on my back. So, I mean, Darren, you seen him.
Yeah.
You seen him.
50.
He's nice.
50.
Yeah, like, he going to Kansas.
But you was doing your stuff too, though.
Yeah, we was doing our thing, but, I mean, he won. So, I mean, basketball's
right.
We winning. So, I mean, obviously you'll get the glory of that. He going to Kansas.
Yeah.
We go play him next year at least, I think twice, if the Big 12 really schedules that. But, dog, like, I play with him at USA, like.
Yeah. Yeah, you going to play with him at McDonald's. We'll talk about that later, too.
Yeah, they put us on the same McDonald's team. I don't think that was a good idea.
They going to learn that day. Want to hear all about Boston sports? Check out NESN's daily sports podcast, Boston is entered the chat. You, too, can enter the conversation by tweeting at us using the hashtag NESNChat or email the chat at NESN.com. Boston is entered the chat is available on YouTube, Spotify, Apple, Amazon, and wherever else podcasts are found. All right, Tay, I mean, at some point, that kid's going to affect our brackets in the future when he's with BYU.
Yeah.
But I also want to say this. If you remember, I had BYU in my Final Four in terms of the men's bracket for March Madness. Now, 9 out of my Sweet 16 were correct.
Yeah.
Not terrible. 3 out of my Final Four are still alive.
Okay.
So BYU, Auburn, and Florida are all alive. I had UCLA. We saw how that went. So they're done. How's your bracket looking? Is it a mess? Are you still alive like me? Oh, that's not good.
You know, most of them are a mess, you know. I'm just going to be honest. Most of them are a mess.
Hey, when you ask someone a question and they give you a sound effect first before they answer, it ain't good.
Yeah, most of them are a mess. I still have all my Final Four, unlike you.
Okay.
So I do have all my Final Four still alive.
That's good, Ted.
Tennessee, Duke, Florida, and Auburn. They're still there. After watching Auburn, I'm a little nervous right now. But, you know, I still believe in them. So I'm rocking with them.
Don't be nervous. In fact, I practice what I preach when it comes to that. I'll give you an example. I have Florida winning the whole thing. Okay? They barely got by UConn.
Yeah.
And, you know, you let Hurley tell it. It was the refs, right? It was their fault.
Right.
He's in some hot water for that, isn't he?
Yeah, but that investigation is crazy.
Well, right. But listen, Florida won the game.
Yeah.
Okay? My takeaway from that, because I watched that game, of course, I was on the edge of my seat. Of course, I was like, please don't ruin my bracket. But at the same time, I guess it would have been bittersweet because the Huskies would have still been moving on.
Yeah.
But, man, I'm watching that game. Florida survives, and my takeaway at that moment was, thank God. They won the game, but you want these teams to be battle-tested. You want these teams to be against the ropes and come out of it, fight out of it.
Yeah.
And Florida did that, so now I'm like, okay. If anything, Ountae, I felt a little more confident in my pick once I saw them battle like that.
Yeah. I mean, Florida is a good team. They have been battling. What I'm more worried about is like how everyone's feeling about this tournament. Just because I think the theatrics have just kind of been missing. Besides Derek Queen finally, which I've been telling you for months that this kid is box office from the DMV. You know, I'm from Baltimore. That's what he told the people. You know, the theatrics kind of have been gone, but this tournament has been a crazy tournament when you look at it from an outsider's perspective. Like Coach Calipari had to beat Patino and Bill Self to get to the Sweet 16. You know, Derek Queen, like I said, with the game winner over Colorado State. Caleb Love has an opportunity to dethrone Duke again, like he did in the tournaments past when he was with North Carolina.
That's right.
UConn with the investigation with Coach Hurley and all of that stuff. Kids hitting the transfer portal. I don't know if you've seen this, but Justin Pippen, Scottie Pippen's son, hit the transfer portal and his team's in the Sweet 16 with Michigan. And then you have the kid from one of the other schools that transferred out 13 minutes after his team got bounced from the tournament. I think it was Vanderbilt. It's insane. And then you have the Amir Khan, the Cinderellas, you know what I mean, story, them beating Clemson. So I think it's been a pretty fun tournament.
Yeah, listen, the transfer portal stuff is embarrassing. It's just like we can't even sit here and enjoy March Madness without hearing about this kid transferring or that kid transferring.
Right.
It's just a joke. I agree with you. I will say this. You know, people are talking about, well, because of the NIL, because of the transfer portal, we're not getting as many upsets and Cinderellas. I think that's true to a certain extent. First of all, one of the reasons I'm doing pretty good in my bracket is because I did roll with chalk. Yeah. And ultimately, that's really kind of what happens the longer the tournament goes on.
The longer the tournament
Sweet
plays
16 on, for the most part. There's, of course, exceptions to every rule.
Right.
But for the most part, chalk does rise to the top. Most of your upsets you get are in those first few weekends.
Right.
You know, the first few rounds of the tournament. We didn't really see that this year, and I think some of that is transfer portal because a lot of those mid-major schools, Ountae, and you know this, I mean, these guys end up playing on the same team with one another for 3 or 4 years.
Right.
So you have chemistry. It's baked in. Nowadays, what I notice, these guys will play like, I don't know, I'm just making it up. Let's say you go to Akron or Dayton or something.
Right.
These dudes, if they hoop on a big stage like March Madness, they'll use that to transfer to a bigger school. And it's just like, well, you're never going to get that cohesion and that smaller school, that group of players to play together for a long time. It's just not going to happen anymore, I don't think.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't say not going to happen anymore. Honestly, I think with that new JUCO rule, what I've told you about, we'll see it happening more and more because a lot of these top freshmen are going to have to go to smaller schools to kind of prove themselves. Right. And maybe you're going to start having guys who feel slighted that they didn't get respected from a bigger school earlier on as it goes on. And, NIL talks, money talks, and all this other stuff. But you see Amir Khan. Kid got a bag as a manager.
Yeah, he did.
You know what I mean? Yeah. So you could get a bag.
Right.
At a McNeese, at a Drake or something like that.
Yeah.
You just got to be a star in the tournament. You got to be a darling. You know what I mean? What was the kid from Oakland, Jack Conkey, you know what I mean, from last year or whatever?
Yep.
Gilkey or whatever his name was. But he's getting bags every single time the tournament comes up. Yep. If you're one of those guys and you have the opportunity to be a star, if you're at a small school, you have an opportunity to be an even bigger star than a Cooper Flag when March comes around.
Sure.
Just because of you making those moments. Everybody remembers those Loyola Chicago teams. Everybody remembers when Virginia lost and, they threw the ball to half court and dude comes down and hits the jumper. Everybody remembers the Stephen F. Austins. You remember those schools and those moments more than you remember the big moments from the big-time players in the big games.
Well, I tell you what, I'm going to give myself a pat on the back team-wise, because this BYU team, I told you.
You did.
We were talking to AJ Dybantsa about this. Listen, at the time when he committed to BYU, everyone said, what's he doing?
Right.
I mean, I get the NIL, but it's BYU. Now, look, listen, they're going to beat Alabama tomorrow. I'm just telling you right now. They're going to beat Alabama. They're going to beat Duke, and they will be in the Final Four. This team is no joke. I told you back during the regular season. Now, I'm not going to act like it was November or December. It was February.
Yeah.
But I saw them go on the road and beat Arizona in their building and Iowa State in their building. And I'm like, this team is no joke. And that impressed me. When you can go on the road and get big wins like that against big programs, and that was in the middle of a win streak, by the way.
Right.
So this team is legit. They got hot right at the end of the regular season. We know how that translates. I think BYU is the truth. Obviously, this season – and next season, when the kid gets there too, Ountae, they are legit, brother.
Can I ask you this, though? What about them facing Duke? Because you keep saying Final Four.
They're going to beat Duke.
They're beating Duke?
Yeah. They're going to be in the Final Four, bro.
I mean, and that's a testament to what AJ was talking about. Kevin Young, how great of that coaching staff is and everything like that.
It's a pro system, right?
Right.
Yeah.
So, I'm with you. I think also just, to talk about a couple of the other games that are going to be really good to watch, I'm excited for that Ole Miss-Michigan State game.
Yeah.
That Ole Miss-Michigan State game is going to be a dog fight.
Who do you like? Who do you like?
I got to roll with Izzo. I told you before, I think this is Izzo's time. And you told me, you were like, everyone says it's always Izzo's time. It's Izzo's year. But I feel this team just feels different, dog. Okay. They feel resilient, and that's what you need in March.
All right, who's the better lineup of games? And we'll move off this and talk about the ladies.
Yes.
These are your tomorrow games. BYU, Bama, Maryland, Florida, Arizona, Duke, Arkansas, Texas Tech. Those are great games, Ountae.
Yeah.
On Friday, Ole Miss, Michigan State. You're talking about Kentucky, Tennessee, Michigan, Auburn, Purdue, Houston. Yeah. I think Friday.
I got to roll with Thursday.
Yeah?
I got to roll with Thursday. I like Friday.
I think Friday's crazy.
I think Friday's going to have a lot of offense. Yeah. You're right. But I just think that Thursday's going to have those scrappy dog fights.
Yeah.
And it might have the theatrics that we're looking for.
Man, I'm looking at this now for tomorrow. Arizona Duke is one. BYU Bama's one. Yeah, all these. You're right. I mean, we're really getting treated here. I get there's no Cinderella.
Right.
But as a fan of, I like the favorites.
Hey, you're right. No Cinderella, but nobody expected Arkansas to be here. So shout out to Coach Calipari for, getting them to the Sweet 16, dog.
Touche. All right, let's talk about Juju Watkins.
Yeah.
I was absolutely devastated, as I'm sure you were. I mean, that was one of those ugly injuries where it was clearly just time for that knee to go. It was going to go at any moment. Here's a tweet from Shams. That Juju Watkins suffered a torn ACL in her right knee. She'll undergo surgery. Obviously, her season is finito.
Yep.
And listen, Ountae, I hate to be that guy because they're a really good team, but the Trojans are finished.
Yeah,
they're done.
You're right. I hate to tell you that you're right because they are destined to match up with your UConn, with your Paige Beckers and your Ozzie Fudd. And that team is just too talented for them to probably get past. But, man, what a season, though, that the USC had a whole. No doubt. I don't think anybody expected them to be this great coming into the season. Honestly, the Big Ten as a whole, on the men's and women's side, has been way better than what people probably thought they would be. Yeah. And even heading into this tournament, I mean – I'm going to talk about UCLA in a minute, but, they've had a great season as well, and they've done a lot of great things. So, it's a really sad moment for Juju. I hope that she can come back and be the same beast that she was. Yeah. A person that, she would have got a chance to play against, Paige Beckers, has gone through similar things. So I'm sure they'll have conversations. They'll talk about how she can kind of get back to who she was. Yeah. And I'm sure that she'll be, great. I did want to say, though, did you see that she was talking to your boy Jaden Daniels?
I also saw his mom not have that.
She put that voodoo hex on her.
Yeah,
dog.
She did.
Yeah.
Hey, she said, hey, baby, stay focused, and I'm okay with it. By the way, my Final Four in the women's game is still intact. Yeah. I wonder if yours is too, Ountae. I had UConn, South Carolina. I'm looking at my bracket now, UCLA and Notre Dame. Yeah. So I'm still alive and well right now. Yeah. You had SC, I remember.
I had SC. I had Texas. I had West Virginia.
Yep.
It's not looking too great for me. I'm just being honest. My bracket's not looking too great on the women's side.
What we learned here on Hold My Banner is for next year's March Madness, everyone just roll with me. I mean, Ountae is a walking, talking triple-double. He has forgot more basketball than I'll ever know.
All right.
However, when it comes to March Madness, just holla at your boy.
All I got to say is, look, I told you I was going to tell you about UCLA in a second.
Yeah.
UCLA made me nervous in that game against Richmond. They were tied at halftime.
I know.
And I almost text you like, hey, Travis, are you sure? But they came out and played. And look, the other thing that I love about March is HVL got Haley Van Lith balled. Got her opportunity to play against her old Louisville team and showed out and beat them by 15. And that's what March is all about. I hope to be able to see Caleb Love do the same thing to Duke. So we'll see.
Hey, coming up in 30 seconds, we'll talk about the best team in the basketball world. But first, do you want the latest on the Patriots and the NFL? We'll tell you what Mike Vrabel and the Pats should do. Keyword should do with the fourth pick in the NFL draft on NESN's football podcast, Foxborough Rush. It's available on YouTube, Spotify, Apple, Amazon, and wherever else podcasts are found. All right, Tay, I don't want to tell you I told you so, but I told you that West Coast road trip didn't mean a damn thing.
Yeah.
Celtics were going to go out there. They were going to go 3-0. Jazz, Blazers, Kings, check. No problem.
Easy work.
I think you had them going 2-1, if I'm not mistaken.
I did. That's right. I thought they were going to lose to the Kings, but I was wrong. And Sabonis ended up trying to take Tatum out to try to help the Kings.
All right,
get
let's
a win.
Talk about it, bro. Yeah, because obviously, I don't have many takeaways from the road trip. It went the way I thought it would.
Yeah, it did.
But I am really concerned with that Tatum injury. Now,
are you?
I am. It looked worse than it ended up being.
Yes.
Okay, so that makes me feel a little better. But I am nervous about it in the sense of mentally, when you shoot like that and you come down on someone, and the league's just letting this happen and has been for years, this close to a postseason, I worry a little bit that we'll get a more tentative Jason Tatum. We already, as Celtics fans, scream at this guy to be more assertive, more aggressive, especially in the postseason. Now he's going to come off this. I imagine they're going to rest him for a minute, make sure it's 100% as they should. I just wonder, will he be tentative when he comes back? And this is not the time of year I want to see that, because a lot of injuries are mental once you come back from them.
Yeah, I hear you, but it happened on a jump shot. You know what I mean? If he was going to the rim, I would be like, okay, maybe. You know what I mean? Because maybe he's not attacking the rim as hard. But it happened on a jumper. I've had similar injuries in that sense, and I've had friends and teammates that have had injuries like that in that same situation. And like the next time, all you do is just you flop. You know what I mean? Like you kick them legs out, you fall in your butt, and you fall kind of the right way. You know what I mean? And now anytime anybody gets in your airspace, you know, you kind of make sure you let the refs know, like, hey, he's a little close, right? And you know, these refs aren't dumb. They're real people. They see the internet, even if they're not reffing that game, right? They see Tatum get hurt, and it's a big deal, and everybody's talking about it, right? And they see that he, you know, has his ankle rolled up because somebody got under him, right? And so going into games, you know, from now on, you're gonna hear people being like, hey, you're a little too close. You might even see him getting phantom calls. You know what I'm saying? Now, because dudes maybe get a little too close and they're asking the refs like, hey, bro, he keeps running under me. This is too much, right? So I'm not too worried about it from that sense. All I think is we're going to probably end up seeing him do that Tatum sidestep even more now, because he's got to create even more space because guys want to get under him.
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, listen, the big thing here, and you know what I'm going to say, is that he was okay. Yeah. Because when it happened, I'm not going to lie, obviously when you watched it, you're like, oh, that's an ankle. Like you said, it's a routine thing that we've seen, you've experienced. It happens to every hooper. Yeah. But the way he reacted, I was like, I hope that's not an Achilles. That was my first.
The way he grabbed his
that's not
foot.
good. The way he was writhing in pain, how he's holding it, I was like, man.
Yeah, but I knew, like, Achilles is usually, like, non-contact. You know what I'm saying? So I could kind of tell his ankle. Luckily, he's got them Jordans on, them high tops. You know, he's one of the rare few players that kind of wear them mid-high top shoes.
Yeah, well,
so
now we see why.
That probably saved him a little bit.
Absolutely.
But did you see him using his ankles to do a little soccer trip against the Jazz?
No.
You missed that part, dog?
I didn't see that. What happened,
he did like a little bicycle kick. I don't even know how they didn't call it. It was definitely like a kick ball, but it was an accident. He got kind of like ripped. Yeah. And then it just hit the back of his legs.
And he kicked
and
it
then
up.
Popped over his shoulder. And then he scored the layup
they
against the
didn't
Jazz.
call that?
And then, it was just a good bucket.
Refs, dude.
Good bucket.
All right, so now we get the Suns tonight in Phoenix.
Yeah.
I mean, this team's hot. Suns have won 4 straight. In that streak, they beat Giannis.
Yeah.
They beat the Cavs.
Yeah.
I mean, they're coming together. They're trying to get into that play-in-ville, so they're not messing around. They look like they're about their business. Look, I'll give the Suns a chance tonight. They're hot right now. They're at home. I don't think they're going to win. I'll give you a score here. Yeah. Obviously, you know, look, I could be wrong. We're not doctors. We just play them on Hold My Banner. Mm-hmm. I would fall out of my chair if Tatum plays. I just don't see why you even risk it. I would consider – I'm looking right now. I'm only bringing this up because I'm looking at the schedule. Mm-hmm. Phoenix tonight, Spurs over the weekend.
Yeah, Spurs on Saturday.
Memphis next week. These are all road games. Mm-hmm. At Phoenix, at San Antonio, at Memphis. He doesn't even sniff this road trip.
You think he's done?
No, I think they'll bring him back. So then you're at home. Okay, you're back at home against the Heat, Suns again, and the Wizards. Then you go to New York, you go to Orlando, and you finish with a pair against the Hornets. Yeah. I'm not going to lie. Not a doctor playing one on Hold My Banner. Yeah. I don't bring him back till probably the last 2 of the regular season. Okay. I'd let him play the last 2 games of the regular season against Houston. I mean, against Charlotte. Yeah. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That's 8 games he'd sit out. And I don't even think it's that serious. I think he'll probably be back. He could be back sooner. I would do that out of precaution. I don't think that's going to happen, Tay. I'm just telling you what I would do.
Yeah. And that's fair. And I'm going to tell you what I think is going to happen. Okay. I think that he's going to sit out against Phoenix. I think that he's going to sit out against San Antonio because they're so lowly right now.
Why
even risk it?
So you got him
coming
back next week.
I got him coming back against Memphis. It gives them a week. You know what I mean?
That's
a week to get back. And I think it's not as bad as what people think. One,
facts.
He walked out, good spirits. Yeah. Not without a limp. in both of his shoes. That's
Missoula
a good sign.
says he's fine.
Right. So, I agree with you. I think he is going to take some time off. If it was Phoenix on Saturday, I think he probably would be playing against Phoenix.
Okay.
But I think because San Antonio, once again, is so lowly now.
Yeah, give him the extra rest.
It's like, whatever. Let's just have you play against Memphis on Monday and then come back home.
Yeah, you could tell they're real hooper because I'm telling you right now, I'd have him in bubble wrap until the last couple games of the regular season, just get his legs back under him, and then I'd have him ready to go for the playoffs. As far as the score, I'm going to go 111, 107 C's. I think Jaylen Brown goes off. I will be gambling on him heavily in this game. Tatum out, Brown picks up the slack, no problem. I'll go Jaylen Brown. I'll go over on his point props, and I'll go 111, 107. Celtics win in a defensive game.
Okay. What's the prop right now as we're recording this?
I don't have it now, but I will say this. Here's a bet I've been doing. I'm not going to name the book because they got to cut the check for me to do that.
Say less.
But there is a book that offers a player to be the leading scorer of the game.
Yeah.
So instead of betting, 26.5 or whatever the prop will be for Jaylen Brown, you could just take him to be the leading scorer outright in the game, and it's plus money always. That's really what I've been betting.
I like that. I'm not a betting man, but you might have me looking for that book. All right. So, look, I'm with you. This is going to be a Celtics win. I think the Suns have been a little too high right now.
All right.
KD, has been hooping. You know what I mean? Devin Booker has been hooping. I don't know what Bradley Beal's plan is, but when those two dudes play, when Booker and Durant play without Beal, they hoop. But I think it's one of those things, like you said, they beat the Cavs. They beat the Bucks. You know what I mean? Their last loss was to the Lakers without LeBron.
That's right.
So it's one of those situations where I think they probably see it as like a trap game, no Tatum, blah, blah, blah. Yeah. And this is where the Celtics do what they do. And Pritchard comes out and gives you a great game, and Horford gives you a great game or something like that, and they punch you in the mouth. This is going to be one of those. I'm thinking more 126, 121 Celtics in this one.
Okay. All right. We both got to have the C's to win. Hey, we talked about a lot of great players in that segment. One of them we'll talk even further on in 30 seconds. But first, stream the entire Red Sox season with a NESN 360 annual plan. It's available at an all-new reduced price of just $20 a month, paid annually. And for a limited time, you get 4 free tickets to Fenway with your purchase. Visit NESN360.com to sign up today. All right, Tay, it's not a hold my banner without a game from you, my brother. What we playing today?
We playing Stop Me Win. You hear a better player than this guy right here. Player of the week,
Woo!
Kevin Wayne Durant. Mr. Wayne. All right, Travis Thomas. So Stop Me Win. You hear a better player than Kevin Durant.
It's going to be a quiet-ass segment because I'm going to tell you, he one of them ones.
You always say that. And I'm always going to start out easy. Of course, current players are current.
Okay.
Former players get the luxury of their peak.
That's
of
right.
course. All right, so we're starting out with the first guy.
All right.
What about Kawhi Leonard?
I mean, Kevin Durant, even peak on peak. Like, Kawhi is a fantastic championship level player. Clearly, we've seen that. But so is Kevin Durant. He's done it more consistently. Not as neither one of these guys are as verbal as I would like. But Kevin Durant, to me, is head and shoulders greater than Kawhi Leonard.
Okay, what about his teammate, Devin Booker?
Kevin Durant. Devin Booker has not lived up to the billing I think everyone thought.
Yeah.
He's an all-star player.
Okay.
He's a tremendous scorer. Seems like a leader.
Yeah.
But I remember, and I fell for this, everyone thought he had killer instinct, and everyone thought this was the next Kobe.
Right.
I don't believe that. It started in the finals against Giannis. He had a chance to put that series away. He couldn't do it, and it turned out Giannis was the damn killer, actually. So since then, I don't think Devin Booker's career has really rebounded from that. He's had some injury issues as well.
Yeah.
I like D-Book, but Kevin Durant's on another planet to him, too.
All right, what about his rival, a guy that loves to play against him, Anthony Edwards?
Oh, Kevin Durant. Edwards will have his time to improve or maybe usurp this, but it's Kevin Durant now. It's not close.
All right, what about your favorite guy? A guy who's out right now with blood clots. We hope to see him really soon.
Yeah.
Victor Wembanyama.
This will shock you because I always take Wemby in these. On this one, I'm going to go Durant.
Woo. Hey, Zach, are you prisoner of the moment right now?
No, I'm not.
Are you,
I just think.
No, because I know how you feel about Wemby, dog.
I love Wemby.
And you haven't seen him play basketball in a month, and that's maybe why you're feeling this way.
No, I do love Wemby. Here's the deal. There's no Wemby without Kevin Durant.
You're right.
Kevin Durant was really, I think KG to a certain extent, but Durant took it to the next level. You know where I'm going. A guy of that size to have that skill set. KG could bring the ball up the court. He could go coast to coast and finish. Either hand, dunk on you, do whatever. Kevin Durant can do that and has one of the greatest jumpers of all time. KG didn't have that. I think Durant being able to take you off the dribble the way he does at his size. KG didn't have that. So Kevin Durant really, in my opinion, was the first Wemby, technically. Yeah. So that's why this is OG status right here. That's all it is. I love Wemby.
I'm going to ask you again in early November when we get some more Wemby games. What about this guy, Scottie Pippen?
Oh, man. So this is more even.
Okay.
Because Pip.
I start off easy.
Hall of Famer, champion. Man, Pippen gave you more in the defensive end. But I don't know. I've seen Kevin Durant be prolific
Where you going,
on
dog?
his own.
Yeah.
I did see Scottie Pippen put up numbers, but not like Durant's doing. I'm
Two-time
going to go
final
Durant.
MVP.
I'm going to go Durant here.
Woo! You know some people are going to be mad about that.
I know. That was tough for me. I'm not going to lie.
All right. What about this guy, Dirk Nowitzki?
But to be fair, I've watched I grew up watching Pippen.
Yeah.
Durant's more athletic. I'll go Durant. Ooh. It's a good one, though.
All right. What about this guy? One of your favorites, KG, Kevin Garnett.
Yeah. I mean, this is going back to Kevin Durant is an extension of what KG was.
Yeah.
And so in the same argument where I'm like, well, without Durant, there's no Wemby, I have to give the same props to KG. I'm also biased because he's my favorite player. But I'll go Kevin Garnett here. But it's close, man. I'm going to tell you, Durant's on the short list, bro. Like Steph, Bron.
Hey, I don't know if I can rock with you.
Might be Durant right there.
KG's better than Kevin Durant. KG's better.
Durant's better. I just love KG more.
Yeah, you're wild,
Durant's
bro.
better.
You're wild.
Durant's
you're wild.
better.
Okay, then. I'm sorry,
Durant's
KG.
better.
Like, we love you on this show.
I do. KG's my man, dog.
But like, come on, KD's better, right?
He is.
All right.
He is.
All right. I just have to bring you back down to earth. All right. What about this guy right now, LeBron James? Who would you rather have?
Right now, I'd rather have LeBron. Right now, I would. I know. Listen. I'll be honest. It doesn't matter what level of their career. I'll take LeBron over Durant every time.
Wow.
Yep.
I mean, we saw it though.
Every time.
We saw it. We saw it in the finals 3 times.
Every time.
We saw it in the finals 3 times.
I'll take LeBron.
Bron got 1. KD got 2.
We gonna give Kevin those.
We're
not gonna act like
he was
Kevin
finals MVP.
We're not gonna act like
he was finals MVP.
Okay. All right.
He was finals MVP.
So Bron had what was his name? Deladova.
I don't care who he had. He picked his team.
What was the boy name?
No, you can't. Hey, I don't care who you had. Hey, Travis, if I say, hey, I'm picking Travis Thomas to be on my team, and we go hoop, and you stink, whose fault is that? Whose fault is that?
Just saying.
Okay, then. All right, then.
I'm taking Bron.
Okay, then. All right, what about this guy?
Who?
Jason Tatum.
Not gonna lie, bro.
Nah, don't.
Right now, today?
Don't. All
right, let me say this.
Don't.
Right now,
You're
today.
lucky that they don't play. Hey, they play again April 4th.
Right now,
so
today, I take Tatum. Right now, today, I take Tatum. All time, I'm taking Durant.
Okay,
I think that's fair.
That's fair.
I think that's fair.
I thought you were about to say you were going to take KD right now, and I was about to have to beat you up.
No. I'll take Tatum right now. I'll take Durant all time.
I was going to jump through this camera and come and beat you up, dog. All right, look, last dude we got to talk about because he's having an incredible episode that's out right now with Celtic City. You know, the king of Boston.
Yeah.
Larry Legend, Larry Bird. Who's better, man?
Come on, man. I got to go home after this show. You know damn well you're not finna have me on camera talking about no Kevin Durant over no damn Larry Bird.
Hey, I just have to know.
Kevin Durant is more athletic.
He is.
And bigger.
He is.
Give me Larry Bird. I gotta make it home.
All right, that's it for me, dog.
All right, let's go league pass. I'm gonna go Grizzlies at Thunder tomorrow night. The Thunder, we know what they are. The Grizzlies are trying to prove they belong. They're real contenders. They're not fugazi. Last I looked, they're like 5th seed right now in the West.
I don't know why they're trying to prove that. They're fugazi.
They're fugazi, but one way you could change that narrative is to go in OKC and get that win tomorrow night. For nothing else, I'll be watching for that.
Yeah, I don't foresee that happening at all. But
what's your game?
Should I?
You're doing it?
No, I'm just joking this time. No March Madness, so I'm gonna roll with Bucks at Nuggets. Look, MVP level matchup. Giannis, hopefully Jokic plays in this one. He's been missing some time with the injury, but I think he's supposed to be back for this one tonight. So Giannis versus Jokic, MVP level matchup. You're gonna have Westbrook in there with the antics against Dame Lillard.
Yeah,
you know how their battles and duos have always been. It's just a very big marquee matchup, and I'm surprised that it's a league pass game at all.
Yeah, facts. Bro, I know we don't have no time. I'm just looking down. I wrote down Jordan, Magic, Steph, Bron. I mean, dog, I got to go with big man, I feel like. But I feel like KD's right there. Am I tripping?
As
all
what?
Time.
All time. Oh, so KD's 5?
Just on top of my head, I wrote Jordan, Magic, Steph, Bron. And then, like, I my brain goes to a big man because I'm, like, making a lineup. But it's not about that. But I'm just like, Kevin Durant's in that conversation. Am I tripping?
Bean? Kobe?
Yeah. See, you didn't name Kobe in that.
I didn't have to. It's obvious.
It's obviously Kobe.
Is it not?
Yeah, it is. Hey, don't. I'm just asking.
No. Is it not? We only got 30 seconds left. But is it not?
It is. See, this is why I hold my banner. We need to hear from y'all. Send us, where's Kevin Durant rank all time? This is something we should talk about next show as well.
Yeah.
Travis Thomas, Ountae Campbell, and you here to debate hoops, baby. Let's do it.
You got me mad on the way out, dog, for real.
Hold my banner. That's a wrap. Till next time. Peace.
Deuces.